Welcome to the Xbox Dive. We are live. Neither one of us have pants on.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is episode number 6 of the Xbox Dive Show. My name is Jamie, and I am one of your hosts on this wonderful Xbox world of amazing Xboxness. And you all to my co-host, Mr. Chris White.
Hello, James! I am so glad to be back on the Xbox Dive. Listen, I know that, we have a small following now. Some people would even say, if you're real quiet, it just sounds like crickets in the background. But look, I love being on this show. I love this community that we're building, and it's great. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we are also glad for everybody watching us live on Mixer right now. You can find us at mixer.com/the Xbox Dive. We stream there live every Thursday. You can also find us on our YouTube channel. We put these videos up along with other great content. But most importantly, make sure to find our Facebook community group. We have a lot of activity going on in there. We have a great community just talking Xbox and wonderful things like that. We have great polls on there as we get a little farther into the show and we talk about our topics of the week. Every week, we always have a topic picked by the community. We also have other fun polls in there. Recently, we had a poll up, what is your favorite Xbox controller? And surprisingly, I was actually surprised, Xbox 360 won the vote. So
that is surprising.
I was kind of hoping the Xbox One would win, because by far, especially the Xbox One with the rubber grips on it, really nice.
Yeah, I mean... I think, did you have, was it just Xbox One or did you have the Xbox One Elite controller on the, I didn't remember if you spread,
No, I did the Xbox One by itself.
Okay. Yeah, because I would argue, now I play pretty much with, I don't have the rubber grip one, so I play with this white guy that comes with the S, and I absolutely love it. It's a great controller, but my brother-in-law has the Elite controller, and every time I'm at his house, I just hold it for a few minutes, and I'm just like, man, I've got to buy one of these. It is one of the best controllers I've ever felt in my entire life. But the Xbox One controller to me is far superior. But we don't get there without the Xbox 360 controller.
Right.
So I have a special place in my heart for the 360, and I love it. But yeah, that was a surprise to me that was the winner.
And honestly, the only thing I don't like about Xbox 360, the stupid D-pad, that mushy D-pad, because it remembers all like one piece versus they released. I actually have. Oh, I should have brought it. I have.
They released pretty late in the life of the console. They released a silver one with a. Well, I think they ended up putting on other ones, but the first one was silver and it was with transforming D-pad.
Right, you could turn it.
Where you kind of turn it and it kind of poked out a little bit and then it kind of went back to the disc. And that helped a little bit, but yeah, the D-pad's always been just awful. But man, that controller, the triggers on the Xbox 360 controller were even to this day when I hold a DualShock, for as good or bad as anybody thinks that it is, I absolutely, the triggers are the thing that I can't stand. Mm-hmm. Even like I like the Switch Pro controller a lot. I think it's a step up. I like the Switch Pro controller. I would say over a DualShock controller, but it still doesn't have the same trigger feel that either one of the Xbox controllers have. Yeah. But specifically the 360, man, the first time I held that with those triggers, I loved it.
Mm-hmm. So good. It was so awesome. Cool. And the funny thing is, for my Xbox 360, I'm trying to. They had wireless controllers in Xbox. Yeah, they did. Of course, they had wireless controllers in Xbox 360 because I always had wired controllers for the most part, just because that's what came with the system. So I always had the one with the wire wrapped around it, and
wait, on the 360?
Like yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know it
because I got
it launched with wireless. I'm pretty sure
it may have, but the one that came in my box, I think, was wired. If I remember right, maybe it came with wireless. I know I had a wireless one and a wired one. I thought I got the wired one with the control with the console. Maybe I didn't.
Oh, wait a second. Yeah, because they had the 2 SKUs.
Right.
I got the premium SKU, the one with the silver tray, because you got a chrome. They had the arcade edition that had a white disc tray, like the little front of it was white that matched the front of the color of the system, and then they had the premium one that had a silver disc tray. And I got the premium, which came with the hard drive, the bigger hard drive, and then it came with a wireless controller.
Oh, sure. Right. Yeah. I mean, Xbox 360 was so good. I mean, until the Nintendo Switch came out, the Xbox 360 was the last time I had to wait out past midnight, to get a console because they were so hard to find. But
it's been a long time.
Right. But as I mentioned earlier, our community is awesome. We always love to give some shout outs to people that are just going to be active in the community. I want to just give a shout out to Michael Ratliff. He actually shared the Telltale announcements as they happen. They released a trailer out, so he just went ahead and shared that on our page as soon as it happened, which is great. We're actually going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. Also want to give a shout out to Jesse Douglas. We talked about Netflix shows last week and what Xbox series we thought would look great on Netflix or like a cable channel or something like that. He absolutely agreed with Chris that State of Decay would be an awesome show on Netflix.
Yes. It just tells you he's really smart.
Absolutely. And just some more shout outs. Colin Womack, Brian Stiltner, you guys have been on there commenting, which is awesome. We would love all of you guys to come join us in this Facebook community. We love just talking with you guys because that's how we make our show. From our conversations that go on in the Facebook group, that's majority of the time where we pick our topics. So with that, let's kick off the show. And Chris, man, what have you been playing?
So I'll tell you, it's been a very Marvel heavy week for me again, and I haven't played a ton just because I've been working on some other projects and then just #life. But I'm almost done. I'm on the last chapter of Guardians Episode 2. So Rocket, look, I probably play 45 minutes a night, if I'm lucky, and then I'll have a couple of nights here and there that I just play pretty hardcore and I'll play for a couple of hours. But the majority of my playtime is maybe half an hour a night right before I go to bed. And so I think the second episode's about, I want to say roughly about 2 hours. So I'm probably like right at the end, maybe 15, 20 minutes from the end of that. And I've really liked it. We're going to talk about some of the stuff they announced at Comic-Con that's going on right now, and they've been talking a little bit about Guardians and what's coming up. We should hopefully see episode 3 pretty quick here. So I've been enjoying that. And then yeah, we had the talk last week about Spider-Man. All I want to do is play Spider-Man games, which I can't do. I was actually really close. I was shopping on Amazon. So not only okay, hang on. Let me finish my story. I've been playing Marvel Heroes Omega because I want to play Spider-Man. So I've been playing a lot of that again too. But back to what I was saying. We were talking, me and you. We were texting back and forth talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because Jacob Rush brought it up on Twitter, and then I've been reading the IDW series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the comic, which is just so great. And I was behind quite a bit, so I probably ran through. I went and bought 6 or 7 volumes that I had missed, and so I'm just I'm slowly catching up through that. Right now I'm on. Well, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I'm on the big showdown between Splinter and Shredder, and that just kind of went down. And it was pretty intense. So anyway, but that's got me in a mood for Ninja Turtles. So I jump on Amazon. I'm searching Amazon, and I find what's the platinum game? Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan, which actually I didn't realize, but the whole art style of that game is based on the IDW comic book.
The story was actually written by the
same guy,
I think. Yeah.
Okay. So that I've added that to my wish list. Again, we talked about this last week. That Spider-Man's off of the store, but so is also all of the Activision TMNT games. So you can't buy a TMNT game on the Xbox anywhere, backwards compatible or not. So I browsed Amazon, and so now sitting on my wish list are both Mutants in Manhattan and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But both of them, because they've been taken off the store, they're like $25 a piece on Amazon, and I just. I know Turtle specifically it wasn't great. And,
yeah, I actually reviewed that back when we were working with Xbox Enthusiasts. It's been a while, but that was I reviewed that game. Yeah. I don't even remember what I gave it. I think it was like a 6, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like if I could go online right now, and it was $19.99 on the store, I would probably have already bought them both in a heartbeat. But now I'm looking at $25, and then it's like, well, now I can't play it, so I have to wait a couple days. So do I really want to spend the money? More than likely, if we're being honest, I'm going to buy both of those games in the next couple weeks. But anyway, so mainly it's just been Marvel. I've been playing a lot of Marvel Ultimate Heroes. They announced today at Comic-Con that they are putting Spider-Man Homecoming content in the we had D23 last week as well, so a lot of Star Wars talk. No, but Star Wars dadgummit, I did it again.
Come on, man.
Spider-Man Homecoming content is coming to Marvel Heroes, which includes a rooftop battle against the movie version of
Falcon,
Vulture.
Or Vulture.
No,
Falcon.
Vulture.
No, I'm messed up. Yeah, Vulture.
Yeah, no. So anyway, so there's some new content coming. They also announced that the next character is going to be Black Cat from the Spider-Man series, and I think it's actually up on PC right now, but it's supposed to be coming to console pretty quick. And then they actually found in the code for the latest update, they found a little hint that Nightcrawler was going to be in the game. So cool. We'll probably be getting Nightcrawler pretty soon. But yeah, so that's basically it, man.
Awesome. As for myself, I've been playing Runbow, which just came out for free. If you have Xbox Live, check it out. This is a game I've been championing for a long time. I loved it on Wii U, played it all the time. It was a great party game, 9-player, couch co-op and online play, which is great. I've been playing a lot of it on Xbox. I'm probably going to 100% achievement on that one. I've kind of been working my way through. It's mostly just, getting 3 medals in every level and then playing some online is pretty much how you're going to get it. And it's great. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's great for speed running, but it's also a blast to play online. So it's got like a King of the Hill mode, which is one of the funnest modes in the game, because when you play online with 9 other people, or 8 other people, I guess it would be, and there's this crown in the center of the map, and you have to stand on it, and like a timer for 10 seconds will start counting down. But you're going to have people punching at you and jumping on you. But if you don't play Runbow, the interesting thing with Runbow is the colors in the background change. So it'll be like green, then blue, then orange. Like it'll flip to these colors. Well, there's platforms of color on the stage. And if the background changes that platform color, the platform disappears. So you might be standing on the platform where the crown is, and the platform disappears, and you fall. And like it's so much fun. But they also have...
That's good. I really want to play. I've installed it, and I like... They did... Now, this is like a sequel, right?
No. Runbow is the original. There's only ever been one. Now,
did they just add a bunch of stuff?
No, it's the exact same game that was on Wii U. Exact same game. Right. And the funny thing with that, I think I'd mentioned to you earlier, majority of the special unlockable characters were from Wii U games, like Wii U indie games. Because, as far as I know, I don't think Mutant Mudds is on Xbox, and it was on Wii U. Zeo Drifter, I believe. Now, I know... what's it called? Commander Video from that rhythm game. It's slipping my mind right now. But there's all these really awesome guest characters in it, and the more I play it, I'm like, I don't think any of these games are on Xbox, which is fine. Because the thing that's really awesome about it is how they have all these guest characters, how you unlock them. It's a blast. I mean, Shantae is in there. The princess from... oh my gosh, I'm having a horrible time remembering things tonight.
From Zelda.
Chariot. There's like all these really awesome games in there. And
now Chariot was on Xbox.
That one was, right.
Yeah, the co-op game. That was actually a lot of fun. What about, is Shovel Knight in it?
Yes, Shovel Knight's in it.
Okay, well, I will play any game that Shovel Knight's in.
The clone from Stealth Inc. is in it. There's all these really, like maybe half the characters are on Xbox, but it's a blast to play. So I mean, they've got that King of the Hill battle, they've got the regular running through the stages battle, which is a lot of fun, and then they have what's called I think called Arena. It's pretty much just fight and knock each other off the levels. Whoever has the most kills wins. The final mode in it, and I don't think you can play it online as far as I know, is called the Behemoth. And it's this crazy, crazy difficult run that you have to go through this massive stage. And actually have a Let's Play of it. If you go over to the Life of Gaming channel, I have a Let's Play of me beating it. And I think it took me,
Oh, wow.
I want to say about 40, 45 minutes. But like my death count is incredibly high.
Yowza.
And there's an achievement for beating it in under 20 minutes or 10 deaths. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, it's so if I'm going for that 100% on that game, it's going to be crazy, crazy difficult.
Yeah.
Wow, the other thing.
That's cool.
Oh, sorry.
No, I just said that. I just said that was cool.
But the other thing I've been playing, Metro 33, I kind of dug into that a little bit. Yeah, jumped into that.
Yeah.
I didn't really play that far into it. I started it, and I forget something came up, and I had to put it down. I haven't gotten back to it yet. I also hopped into Tropico 5. Got that on the Xbox sale. Played the tutorial of that. Tropico is a great city simulation builder game. A lot of fun. But like I said, I just played the tutorial. Haven't really gotten that far into it. The other thing I've been playing, I guess, because it's not Xbox related, but it's cell phone related. I've been playing through the new Professor Layton on Android phone. Because Professor Layton's one that used to be a third-party exclusive on Nintendo, but now it's on Android and iPhone, which is awesome.
So that's out. I saw.
Well, it's not. I actually got a review copy,
That's
so I got it like a week or two early. I think it comes out next week. Having a really good time with it.
I want to get that for sure.
But with that, that's another topic. A little later in the show, we'll start talking about third-party exclusive games.
Yep.
There's one more thing I wanted to mention. Actually, I wanted to do it before we got into what we've been playing, before we hop into the topics, but I thought I'd mention it now. With my birthday coming up, my wife wanted to surprise me and get me Xbox Live, 12 months Xbox Live, because mine runs out in August. So I'm like, okay,
great gift.
That's great. So my wife surprised me and got me the code. She got a physical card over Amazon, and we've done that before, so it's not, crazy for us to do that, because sometimes it's a little bit cheaper than paying is it $60 a year?
I think it's $59.99, I think.
Okay, so this was like I think a little under $50. Yeah. So we bought it, and she brought it home, and I opened it, and I typed in the code. It said 12 months of Xbox Live. I'm like, okay, I hit confirm. And then this error screen popped up. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I thought for sure my system was hacked. And so I got this. I saved it so I could read it to you guys. Because I scoured all over the internet trying to see, is this a thing? Is this a hack? What is this? I couldn't find anything on this. So I typed in the code. It looked like it was working. It was spinning, doing its thing. And then this popped up. It says mock error. And it said, this would be some long description about the error. Read it and weep! ! And if you haven't looked up the phrase on the internet, please do. You will find My Little Pony episode called Read It and Weep. Cloud Chaser and Wonderbolts, you'll never be forgotten. I'm like, what is this? And so I put in this code. I'm like, I think I got hacked. So immediately, as soon as it happened, I didn't close the screen. I called Xbox. My wife called Amazon. The Xbox guys had to cancel the code out for me. And they actually, Xbox support is awesome because they gave me a brand new code to use. Works great. Got my Xbox Live back, which is awesome. They actually had to completely cancel my Xbox Live, cancel the code, and get me a whole new code. But the good thing was, they stopped. Nothing was hacked, which is fine. But it was just so funny because my wife wanted to get me something nice for my birthday. And I opened it, and we just ended up spending the evening on the phone. And
I hope you at least watched the episode of My Little Pony.
No, but
Too bad.
But it was an interesting evening last night. And I looked all over everywhere. I think I saw one other place that posted about it, like on Twitter or something. But I couldn't find anything about this. So I don't know if it was a hack. I don't know if it was something wrong with the Xbox. It was crazy. But I just want to say Xbox support is awesome. One of the many reasons we love Xbox. They were on it. They fixed it super fast. No problem. It was great. So Chris, something's going on over at BioWare. Why don't you just kind of let us know and let our listeners know what's shaking up over there, man?
Sure. Yeah. So Homecoming. We talk a lot about Spider-Man Homecoming, and we're getting a little bit of a homecoming ourselves. So it was announced this week that Casey Hudson was coming back to be the head, the president there of BioWare. Now, if you don't know a lot about Casey Hudson, you will definitely know the games that he was involved with. He was pretty much influential in Knights of the Old Republic for BioWare. He was very influential in Jade Empire, which we actually talked about on this show not too long ago. And then of course, the thing that he is probably maybe most widely known for is birthing the Mass Effect series. So I didn't write down any quotes or anything, but basically what happened was Aaron Flynn is right now the head of BioWare. The general manager is his actual title, and he is stepping aside. Everything seems to be on the up and up. It doesn't look like he's being forced out. Everything that he has said has been he almost even kind of hinted at the fact that he was looking to leave anyways, and it was just a perfect time to make that move. On Casey's part, Casey come back and said that he needed to get some time away. He stepped away from BioWare for family reasons initially, and he actually went and worked at Microsoft for a little while, working on the HoloLens project. But his quote, he said, coming back, it's like coming home. He considers BioWare home, and I mean, BioWare would not be what they are without Casey Hudson in the mix. So so just on the high level, we're going to talk about kind of what this means for the future and what comes next. But just on the high level, Aaron Flynn is out. Casey Hudson is back over, general manager, taking over there for BioWare, back to where he belongs. And so going forward, this the BioWare ship in Edmonton is going to be led and piloted by Casey Hudson. So that's where we are. That's the news.
Sure. Now the real question about this, because as you mentioned, he was the project director on Mass Effect, right? And so it makes you wonder. He comes back. This is probably pure coincidence because they've probably been working this deal for a while, I'm assuming.
Sure.
And so he comes back right when his baby, Mass Effect, is pretty much getting, beat up so bad right now because of Mass Effect Andromeda. The rumors that all the DLC got canceled, EA coming out saying we're putting Mass Effect on hold, we're not going to touch it for a while. Do you think he feels like BioWare brought shame onto his great series? And so he's coming back. He's like, we're going to fix it. We're going to start fresh, and we're going to kick all that Andromeda stuff out of there.
I would actually go the opposite way. And first off, you said that this has probably been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
I do not for 1 minute believe that this conversation happened until after Andromeda launched.
Right.
And so I don't think this is a reflection on Aaron Flynn at all, because he was the general manager. He was not the project lead or the director of Mass Effect. So when we're saying this of Andromeda, when we're saying this is no slight at all to Flynn. But I think what happened is I think that Mass Effect Andromeda failed to live up to any expectation, hype, sales, engagement that the company had hoped that it was going to. And to be honest, that was the bread and butter, right? If you look at BioWare's library, let's think about it for a company like let's even say Nintendo, right? Nintendo, they make Mario, and Mario's going to sell, and Zelda's going to sell, so that they can go make things like Pikmin and things like Splatoon that are kind of risks, right? And so BioWare's like, we got Mass Effect. Mass Effect is going to be the cash cow. We're going to be able to ride that anytime we need it. And then while we're doing that, and of course they have Dragon Age 2. So
about to mention Dragon Age as well.
Yeah, so we're going to rotate Dragon Age, we'll rotate Mass Effect, and then we can go do things like Anthem. And then we can go do things like these new games, because these games are going to always make us money. They're going to print money. And Mass Effect did not do that. Andromeda did not do that for them. So I think instantly, that they were like, okay, we've got to kind of we've got to circle the wagons and figure out how we get this thing back on track. And so I actually think it was them reaching out to Casey and being like, look, this is your baby. You're gone now. It didn't turn out really well. We'd like you to come and make sure that we're back on track. So that's kind of how, in my mind, it would have played out.
Okay. Well, now with him coming back now, we know they're in the middle of Anthem, right? I mean, it's not, I'm trying to remember, when does that come out? Is that 2018?
2018. It's supposed to be next year, yes.
Right. And so he's coming in the middle of this project. So he won't even be able to get his feet wet on something new until, after that releases.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, now they did say that he was actually there for the inception of Anthem.
mm-hmm.
Now it's probably taken some obvious turns since he's been gone,
right.
but like Anthem is something that he's probably at least familiar with in general. But yeah, I mean, you're going to see Anthem next year, and you're going to see Dragon Age first. Those two games are going to be first, unless BioWare decides to ramp up another team. You're not going to see another game past those two games. So hypothetically, you could probably see, if you have Anthem next year, you could maybe see Dragon Age the following year, so 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But even if Casey started a project now, you probably wouldn't see that till 2021. Maybe?
I was thinking 2021, 2022, something like that. Yeah, it's going to be a while because Mass Effect are, as the name says, they're massive. I mean, they're massive, absolutely massive games. And the amount of writing, the amount of voice work. Now, I guess Dragon Age is kind of the same, because Dragon Age is kind of like the medieval, magical version of Mass Effect.
Yeah, but it's a separate team, though.
Right,
It's a separate team. So,
but I think they've learned their lesson, because the team that worked on Mass Effect Andromeda, it was like a B team. This was like their first major game. And I think they've learned their lesson not to do that. You let the B team make a new entry into a series and see how it goes. Right.
You don't give them the prized cow. No.
Right. I think they were hoping that they could prove themselves and really knock it out of the park, but it just it just didn't happen.
Sure.
So with this, how do you think BioWare is going to change? I mean, because I'm assuming it's going to go about the way it did before, because I'm wondering, did Aaron Flynn make some kind of decisions that the rest of BioWare didn't agree with? Did he feel like he was getting pressure from EA? I'm just kind of trying to figure out why he would have left. He's been there 17 years. I know he said he wanted to spend more time with his family, but we know that Casey Hudson said the same thing. But as you mentioned, then he went to Microsoft, worked on HoloLens.
Yeah.
So now that he had that time to kind of cool off, try something new, he's like, okay, I'm ready to hop back into BioWare, because he's been thinking of great ideas. This entire time he's been working on HoloLens. He's like, man, I really wish I could be working on Mass Effect right now. So him coming back. Now, I know he's not going to be making the games. I mean, he's going to be the general manager. So his position now is totally different, because he was project director before, which is totally different from general manager. So he's going to be dealing more with the day-to-day, minutia of the business itself, not the games. Although he will be there for overseeing things.
Yeah. I mean, so this goes one of two ways. And what you said is exactly right. And that may be my biggest concern, for it right now. What you get with Casey in a GM role is that he's going to have a little bit of his fingerprint in everything. Mm-hmm. But that also means that he's not going to have his whole fingerprint on any one thing, which could actually end up being less than what we would hope for. But I actually do think that at some point, I think Casey will wear dual hats, and I think he'll be given his own project. So while he's GM, I do think he will direct a project in the coming future. So hopefully
this will go the Phil Spencer route, right? Because Phil Spencer was the developer. He helped make games. That's what he did. Right. And then he became, the head of all of Xbox. And he kind of righted the ship, was steering it where it needed to go to get us where we are today. And we've seen some great changes, great leaps and bounds, which is awesome. So hopefully Casey Hudson can do the same thing.
Yeah. So real quick before we wrap up here, I would just want to throw the question out here. What do you think comes next? if we have Anthem and we have and then we have Dragon Age after that, what, you know, because he's not really involved in either one of those. He's coming in at the home stretch for Anthem. Dragon Age has already been in development. You know that it has. So the next project after that is really going to be the one that he has his hands on. So what do you think it's going to be? Do you think they're going to go back to they've already said that they're going to give Mass Effect a break. So what does he do?
Honestly, I'm thinking they're going to lean on Star Wars because they have what is it? It's called the Old Republic, right? The online.
They have the Old Republic
so
right now.
So they've got that going, but people wanting Knights of the Old Republic, like that kind of single player experience back again. And now that EA has all these different companies working on Star Wars games, BioWare, as far as I know, BioWare's not working on a specific outside of Old Republic. They're not working on any other Star Wars games, right?
Not right now.
So I have a feeling, I think you're right. I think they're going to go Anthem. Then they're going to go Dragon Age, and then I think they'll go Star Wars, and then maybe Mass Effect. Because you're right, they're going to give Mass Effect some breathing room because they want people to completely forget Andromeda existed. That's not going to happen.
That's
true.
But
you need the space. So when they come back, they'll be like, wow, I forgot how good Mass Effect was. That's what they want. But to get that, they need space.
Yeah,
and people have been demanding a Star Wars game for a while, so I really honestly think Star Wars is going to be their next big project.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Casey Hudson, while Mass Effect is probably the thing he's probably most known for, just because that series just exploded the way that it did, like, he became a household name in our industry by launching Knights of the Old Republic. It would be so proper to bring him back home to the studio that he loves. Now the studio owned by EA that also has the license to do just the Star Wars games. Have him come back and have him launch a Star Wars game. I do not think it's going to be KOTOR 3. I do not even think it'll be a Knights of the Old Republic game. I think they will switch it up completely. But I do think it will be open world, not open world, but just giant world, Mass Effect, character driven action RPG. And I absolutely think that will be the next thing that we see. And dude, seriously, if you give me Mass Effect 3 but in a Star Wars universe, I mean, you give me covering and shooting blaster rifles, getting up next to somebody and swiping them with my Omni lightsaber, and let me drive the Millennium Falcon around, bro. I will be there day one regardless. I can't wait.
I do wonder if they're gonna stick with the stop attack kind of gameplay.
They can't.
I know that I know we don't think they should, but isn't that how Old Republic? Because it's been a long time since I played Old Republic. I played it a while ago. It's been a few years, but it's that same Knights of the Old Republic gameplay. Yeah. And I mean, they've already got things like Battlefront and other action, Star Wars games. Maybe they need something like that to kind of, show they're different, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
If you guys are listening to this live, I'm glad you are, because I'm going to edit that part out of the actual printed copy, because that is a bad idea.
Right. Well, I'm just saying they need something unique, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I agree. But I just think that they have evolved past that.
Sure.
Like I get what you're saying, but Jade, when Jade Empire came out, that was not that. They already moved away from it with Jade, and they haven't looked back. So after Jade, then you get Mass Effect, and then you get Dragon Age, and all of those games have moved away from that stop, select things, and then go do it. I just think, and I think that speaks to a very hardcore RPG type audience, and what you're trying to reach with Star Wars is a vast audience. And they learned that with Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 1 was not as well received as Mass Effect 2 because they fixed a lot of that combat. They made it more fluid, and they made it more action focused. I would actually say that and this is the reason they won't use the KOTOR name, because I do think that they will take a more of an action friendly approach. But you're missing what BioWare is about. BioWare games are about character driven, conversation trees. Like that is what makes this game unique, not the fact that your combat. You don't even have to have combat to make the games great. It's all about the dialogue and the character choices and stuff. So we'll see. I mean, look, I'll play anything that they make, but I absolutely want it to be faster paced, action oriented for sure.
Okay. So guys, what do you think? Now that Casey Hudson is back, where do you want to see BioWare go? What properties do you want to see them touch? Do you want them to hop back into Mass Effect or Star Wars, Dragon Age? What do you guys think? If you're in the Mixer chat right now, you can let us know live on mixer.com/thexboxdive. You can also comment on our videos on our YouTube channel. Also make sure to subscribe. Or finally, you can also hit us up on our Facebook community group, because that's where we have the most interaction with everybody, is over there on Facebook. So find us there. This week with Comic-Con, we talked earlier about some different things going on at Comic-Con and TV shows and comic books, things like that. But there were also some other pretty big announcements. As we mentioned earlier, Michael Ratliff had gone onto our Xbox Dive community group, and he shared the trailer from Telltale Games and all the new projects they have coming out over the next year or so.
Yes.
And they showed off Batman. The next season of Batman is coming.
The Enemy Within.
We also know Wolf Among Us.
I wish they would have called it Batman Martha. That would have been the best name ever.
We also had Wolf Among Us 2, and then the final season of The Walking Dead.
Oh no! Dun dun dun.
And they said those are coming out in 2018. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I've enjoyed The Walking Dead because it's the 4th official season. They had the little small 400 days, and then they had was it Michonne?
Michonne, yeah.
I mean, they had those 2 mini ones, but this is the 4th full season. And season 3
the final
was fine.
frontier.
I don't think they'll ever hit the greatness that was season 1. But
yeah,
I think season 3 I liked better than season 2. So we'll see how season 4 does.
I've never finished season 2.
Man, you really need to finish season 2, man.
And I really like Telltale Games, but Walking Dead to me is like the first season was great. I just could never really get into the second season. So.
Okay, yeah, the second season was kind of a slog in certain parts. You really had to kind of push yourself through it. I think by the end, it was great because some of those choices really mattered. But
I'll go back and finish it.
The farther we get into it, I'm kind of glad it's the final season because your choices can only carry so far.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. And by the time season 3 hits, the choices you made in season 1, they don't matter that much. So you can start stretching yourself pretty thin. But now that we know that they're ending certain series, like The Walking Dead, we kind of thought, what would be some great series we would love to see Telltale tackle? Try to say that 10 times fast. But
Telltale tackle.
I've got a nice little list here. I'm going to kick it off with kind of a big one because I think it's great. It's got a great universe. It has great lore. It'd be super, super easy to fit this into the Telltale model.
Uh-oh.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Stinking Who.
Now,
that's actually on my list too, but that's fine. No, let's talk about it because we talked about our love for Doctor Who a little bit last week. So I'm all about Doctor Who.
I think right now with a brand new Doctor starting.
Oh my, a girl too. I love it.
It could be a great time for Telltale to kind of hop in, right? Because Peter Capaldi's leaving, and the new actress, I can't think of her name off the top of my head.
Jodie something. Sure. It's like Whiskers or something. It's probably not Whiskers, but it's something close to that.
But because Doctor Who has been hit in video games before, like Lego Dimensions and other things. But I think with Telltale, I mean, just the amount of villains they have, the Cybermen, the Daleks, the Silence, and they've got Weeping Angels. Like, there's just so much great content. You can have like a villain a week, or a villain a month, I guess it would be, like every season.
Weeping Angels,
and it would just be so awesome because people want to get to know the new Doctor, right? The best way.
Hey, wait. So look, real quick. I was basically right. It's Jodie Whittaker.
Oh, Whiskers.
Jodie Whiskers. It's the same thing. Listen, close. Jodie, call me. It's great.
But I just think it would be a great opportunity to introduce fans to the new Doctor, but also bring up fan favorite villains, and maybe even have some old companions come back. Not all of them are dead. Most of them are dead. Not all of them are dead.
Not all of them.
But
some of them made it out.
The way the lore works. But I mean, what do you think about that? It was on your list too, man.
No, I think it's great. One of the things that's super cool, and one of the things that really makes Telltale great, and one of the things that I think they haven't really been able to nail like I'd like to see, is the replayability factor.
Oh, sure.
Right? So being Doctor Who, like imagine facing, in each episode having to make a decision. Do I go to the future? Do I go to the past? And maybe that takes your journey like a completely different way. The other thing that I was thinking about is what if what if you're around, like the TARDIS is stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in one giant area. The TARDIS can still time travel, but it can't move from where it is. So you're basically exploring the same area just over and over again through time, which could be super cool. I don't even care, dude. Just give me Doctor Who.
Awesome.
I would
it would be
love
absolutely awesome. And talking about time puzzles and things like that, Lego Dimensions, the Doctor Who levels was a lot about doing time manipulation. So just because of everything on my list, I think that has the most. What do I say? The best chance for it to actually get made.
It's most feasible.
Right, most feasible.
You would say, yeah. I would say, and just you mentioned Lego Dimensions. My favorite part about that was every time he died, he would come back as a new Doctor. Right, which I thought was so great, so good.
Because now they're on Doctor 13, so it's quite an opportunity there.
A lot of doctors. So. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, definitely. So Doctor Who, 2 thumbs up from this guy. I would buy it. Day one. So is it my turn now?
Yep.
I will say that I'm incredibly pumped for Batman Martha. We didn't really talk about them at all.
Batman Martha?
But yeah, the second season of Batman, I really, really, really like Batman a lot. I like it because it took some risks and changed a lot of the characters in unique ways, which made it really fun to play. And Wolf Among Us is probably still my favorite Telltale series to date. So giving me Wolf season 2 100% all the time. Yes, I love it. So for me, I would go. I mean, really, anytime you ask this question about what I want to see in any sort of genre, there's really only one right answer.
Are you gonna say Power Rangers?
It's Power Rangers. And listen, this is fantastic. Yeah. This is a fantastic way. Now, Power Rangers are known for ninja kung fuing and stuff, right. and so I get
ninja kung fu.
There's not a lot of that in necessarily in Telltale games. But I will say the other part of Power Rangers, and I grew up with it, but there was a lot of the stuff it's just a lot of high school stuff. Mm-hmm. You're at Ernie's getting a smoothie, and you're talking to Bulk and Skull, and you're getting ready for the homecoming dance, and you got karate practice after work, and then you gotta
do Krispy Kreme donuts, right?
Yeah, no, that's a new movie. And then you have to go to Billy's house because Billy's working on the rad bug, and so you have to go and you have to help him work on, like I'm telling you, man, Alpha 5 is missing in the command center. You got to go try to find him. Mm-hmm. Dude, I will play anything with Power Rangers. That's all I want. I want a Power Rangers Telltale game. Give me making some decisions. Give me some Green Ranger stuff where he's turning evil again, like all day long. I love it.
Now, aren't they doing something like that in the comics right now?
They are, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Boom comic series is fantastic. So they've done this thing where it picks up the comic picks up right after Green with Evil. Mm-hmm. So Green with Evil is the first appearance of the Green Ranger. It's a 5-part series. At the end of Green with Evil, he turns good, and the Green Ranger joins the Power Rangers. And then the comic picks up like the next day after that battle. Mm-hmm. But what happens is Rita's still in his head as like this ghost, mm-hmm. and so she keeps like talking to him, and she's like, "They're never gonna trust you. They're always gonna look over your back." And he is all real nervous, and he's trying to figure out how he can be friends with these guys, but still have like her in the back of his head. Dude, it's good, man. It's a great, yes, give me that, man. Give me that series, but interactive. Man, I would play it in a heartbeat. I love it.
And honestly, we talked earlier about how sometimes they'll tie them to comics. So this could be a great opportunity to tie it not to the show, but to the comic.
To the comic, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm on board. Like, seriously, let's make this happen. Telltale, give me a call. I mean, I'll voice at. I mean, I'll do the voice for Tommy. It's fine. I'll write the first episode. It's fine. Just let me know. Just give me a call.
Cool. The next
what you got? What else?
The next one on my list, a series that came back a few years ago. People weren't too happy about it, but the Ghostbusters.
Oh man, Ghostbusters is on my list too.
We haven't seen.
We spend too much. We spend too much time together.
Apparently, but Ghostbusters would be awesome. And it could be the classic Ghostbusters. It could be the new Ghostbusters. A lot of people didn't like the new Ghostbusters. My wife and I, we really enjoyed it. Thought it was funny. Everyone we've shown the new Ghostbusters really enjoyed it. And actually, it might work better as the new Ghostbusters, just for the fact that they have a sequel set up already, right? As far as I know, they started a script, but because it broke even, like it didn't make a lot of money, they canceled the sequel. So why not just take that, turn it into a game? Boom. You've already gotten it done, right? Get all the voice actors back because they're all live. I mean, that sounds bad, but I mean, if you think about the old Ghostbusters, it's just an opportunity. You never know. Because I'm thinking you could do the classic Ghostbusters, but we already have a classic Ghostbusters game that was made by, was it Activision? The one that just became backwards compatible on Xbox.
Yeah, that was Activision.
So I mean, and that was a really, really awesome like Ghostbusters 3. Like
that was
really
when you're
good.
like the rookie, right? You're like a rookie joining. Yeah,
exactly. And they could do something very, very similar with the new Ghostbusters. Just tie it all together.
I'm down.
You already got the property. You already got the license. Go for it.
I love it. I think it's great. Okay, I'm next. Let's see.
You are next.
So, this is gonna sound redundant.
It does. I already hate it.
I absolutely love Spider-Man.
Okay.
And they've done a great job with Guardians of the Galaxy. I see them working again with Marvel in the future. And Spider-Man just makes sense to me for a lot of the reasons that I just was kind of talking about with Power Rangers. But the thing about Peter Parker is he's got to hide from everybody. He's got to do his homework. He's got to avoid Aunt May. You have all of this like drama going on behind the scenes, and then at the same time he's dealing with all these super heavy things. If you've seen Homecoming, he has this great scene toward the end where he's talking to the Vulture. Mm-hmm. But they both, at this point know who each other are. And so, but like this is a great thing where like the Vulture's explaining why he's doing what he's doing, and it makes absolute sense. Mm-hmm. But he's talking to a 15-year-old, and like Peter's having to kind of have all this weight on his shoulders. And I just think, for a narrative-driven game, like it could be super, super cool. And then, the other part of that is, a lot of Spider-Man's, kind of fighting and stuff is really based on quick reflexes because of his spider sense, mm-hmm. which plays perfect to kind of the quick time action that Telltale does for the games. And one of the things they do in Guardians of the Galaxy is there will be times where Star-Lord is shooting his guns, mm-hmm. and all it'll do is it puts up little icons for the left or right trigger.
Oh, sure.
And you just have to pull the triggers and you just shoot, mm-hmm. wildly until everybody's dead. But you could do a similar thing with like web swinging, and he could just have a scene where he just like left or right trigger, and you're just kind of web swinging while narration stuff is going on. Like it could be super cool. So I would if they're going to stay with Marvel and do Marvel stuff, I would like to see them do a Spider-Man story. So
okay, cool. I was just thinking, this one wasn't on my list, but it popped into my head, and I thought this would be hilarious because everything we've mentioned is very action heavy, story driven, that route. And I was thinking, we really don't get a lot of funny, humorous games, right? Okay. What if they made a game based on Arrested Development? Like you could, how crazy that would be, because you'd have Job, George Michael, you like have the whole family, and each episode, because it'd be 5 episode season, like always, each episode would follow a different member of the family. Oh, how great. Awesome! Because you don't, and it could be a puzzle game, right? You could be walking around, kind of help solve a puzzle of some kind, and Bluth, and working with the Bluth family. And I was just thinking, because it could be really funny. It could be really well written. You could have Ron Howard doing all the narration. Like, that just popped into my head because I'm thinking everything we're saying is kind of the same action thing. What if they did Arrested Development, the Telltale series?
I love it. Sign me up for that.
Boom.
Always sign me up for that. That's great.
Oh man.
Okay, well then I'll kind of change genres again too, because
sure.
I'm kind of going a different way with the next one, but opposite from comedy. I would like to see a Stranger Things Telltale game.
That would be awesome.
With a little horror vibe to it and a little, sci-fi vibe to it. There's not a lot of action. I mean, outside of 11, most of the time it's just kind of running and trying to put things together, trying to figure out who did what and where people are, and use batteries and walkie-talkies and try to get rig things up, and like that plays very well to kind of the Telltale style. But the whole idea of the Upside Down, and again, without giving any kind of spoilers away, if you haven't watched Stranger Things, what are you doing with your life? You need to watch it. But the whole idea of the Upside Down kind of just being a reverse of our world, like you could play with that so cool within kind of a narrative driven video game space. So I'd like to see a Stranger Things Telltale series. I think that'd be super cool. And with them going out with season 2, they're going to probably keep that thing going for as long as they can.
Yeah.
But what's great about a show like that is now that they've introduced the world, like you don't necessarily have to even play with the same characters per se, or in the same timeline. If you think about like Wolf Among Us, takes Bigby, but it takes us, years before the comic series ever even started. So like they could do something completely off from the timeline and still be able to kind of be canon and be in there. So anyway, I'd love to see that, and that'd be cool.
Cool. And I just want to say my phone just went off, and it said that we just had another member join the Xbox Dive. So Rufus Williams just joined the Facebook group. So guys, be like him. Come join the awesome community Facebook group,
guys.
Because that's where we have this awesome conversation.
Just listen. Ask yourself this: WWRD. What would Rufus do? Would join the Xbox Dive group.
That is right. You got to join us. It'll be awesome.
Can we do one more?
We'll do one more.
Right,
we're starting to run a little long in this one.
All right.
Let me hit up one more. And how about I combine two? Because my list a little bit longer. These two kind of go together, and they actually just had a special Comic-Con comic book come out. Adventure Time meets the regular show. They come together.
Yes.
So how amazing would it be? Because I think the comic is Comic-Con exclusive, so I don't know if you can actually buy it anywhere outside of Comic-Con. But that would be awesome. Like somehow the worlds combine. I don't know how it happens in the comic, but right now, I've watched every episode of Adventure Time, at least the ones that are available on Hulu, and I've watched almost all of the regular show, Long Live Trash Boat. It is such a great show. That would be awesome. I honestly don't know what they would do with it. It would probably be like Homestar Runner when they did the Danger-esque ones back on the Wii. I think they're on the Wii and PC. Cool games for attractive people. That's what it was called.
Yeah. I would almost, I mean, if we're just building games here, I would almost throw like Steven Universe in there and just do like a hodgepodge where they've all been sucked into a world and they're trying to get back to their own worlds.
Okay.
And maybe even find 5 series, and each of the season or each of the episodes are done in that art style. So you do like one in regular show art style where they actually draw all the Adventure Time people in regular show style, and then at the end of that somehow you get sucked into Adventure Time, and now you have Trash Bag and Trash Boat and Mordecai. All. I love that.
So good.
That's so good.
That's actually a really, really good idea. But okay, man.
Cool. Yeah.
What do you got for your last one?
Well, dang. Now I have more than just last ones. So this is not my last one, but you saying that makes me really want like a Cartoon Network All Stars show where we get like Johnny Bravo and Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab and just do kind of a similar thing with all of those shows. Because I love that block when I was a kid or younger. But yeah, so my last one would have to be The Only Thing That Matters. Besides Power Rangers, which is Star Wars.
Okay.
So I look, I love Star Wars. It's probably my favorite fandom of any of them, and so I really don't even care what it is. Give me a retelling of A New Hope. Give me a side story with Yoda after Order 66 and how he gets to Dagobah. Give me Give me whatever. Give me.
So, like, what if you're like a secretary on the Death Star and you're in charge of shipping?
That's fine.
And you just
fine.
sit there and you just sign orders all day.
Give me Padme knitting little sandals for Luke and Leia. I do not care. No, well, I mean, I'd like to be a pod racer.
Oh,
so give me like with this. So here's one of the things that I really like the world set up in the prequels, even though I absolutely hated the movies. So one of the things that I like about Battlefront 2 is they're coming back and they're giving us Theed, and they're giving us, you're going to get to play as battle droids and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're doing it. It looks super, super cool. Bringing Darth Maul in. I would like to play like a really cool prequel game that explores a little bit more of that world. So just make me a weird alien that races the circuit, and I'm looking for parts and building my ship and meeting people and trying to get to the next race. Mm-hmm. And I don't care. Something, just anything in the Star Wars universe, I would be super pumped for.
Sure.
So.
And Disney seems to be pretty open about making, these side stories to kind of fill in the universe right now. So it'd be cool. Okay.
Maybe.
So, okay, guys, what do you think? What Telltale games would you like to see? What properties should they hit next? Because we've had some awesome winners with The Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us and things like that. We've also had things like Jurassic Park, which we don't talk about, which is a great property, just not used very well. So, what would you guys like to see? You could let us know in our live Mixer chat at the Xbox Dive. You can also hit us up on our Facebook community group. That would be awesome. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and comment down below. We would love it. We have on our Facebook community group, we have a poll that goes up to kind of help us pick a question for the show. This week we had, just like always, 3 questions. We had, are real-world advertisements in games beneficial or more of a nuisance? We had, what third-party console exclusives would we like to see come to Xbox? And then, is Titanfall 2's Horde mode update enough to save the franchise? So those were the 3 topics we put up on our Facebook community group.
Wait, what was the 4th one again, James?
No, you put a special 4th one up. Do you want to let our listeners know about that one?
Yeah, I was just wondering if our listeners would prefer Xbox Live to be a mobile-only service that you have to always have your phone on for, and you can't multitask. Right. Look, that's a reasonable question. That's what all the kids are doing these days.
Now, that was up. It got 1 vote from a Mr. Josh Brandt. So thank you.
Thanks for voting for that, Josh. I appreciate it.
But the winner that we had was, what third-party console exclusive would you like to see come to Xbox? So whether it's on, third-party exclusive on Nintendo, a third-party exclusive on PlayStation, third-party exclusive on PC, it's everywhere but Xbox. And we actually talked about that recently. Was that last week, the week before last?
Last week, yeah, we talked about that a lot.
We talked about the wrestling game. Was it Fire Pro
Wrestling World? And we talked about Shakedown Hawaii.
Right. Those are both games that are coming to everything but Xbox.
Boo.
So technically, this category could be pretty large. But since I kicked off the Telltale topic, how about you kick off our third-party topic?
So I'll start with the only game that matters right at this moment for me.
Yes.
Because of D23. And because of Comic-Con, I had an older man that I was trying to explain to a friend of ours that we were going to Comic-Con, and when he relayed this story to somebody else, he said that they were going to Comic-Con, and that's a whole different kind of convention that most people frown upon. So, oh, that's great. For me, it's Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Now we know this is coming. So let me clarify. What I mean is the original game. So we know that Kingdom Hearts 3 is scheduled right now to come to the Xbox 360. The Xbox One when it launches in 2025. Mm-hmm. But they did say it's supposed to launch next year. We'll see. But they show this at D23, and they premiered the Toy Story 3 level, or the Toy Story world. So you have Woody and Buzz, and it looked just amazing. It literally looked like you were playing a Pixar game, which is just so cool. But I, as fans of the show will know, I have not now nor ever been a PlayStation gamer, so I have never had the luxury of playing these games. Now, I played. Wait,
what?
Say what?
What?
What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, you've owned a PlayStation in the past. I mean, you've got a PlayStation Network ID.
I do have a PlayStation Network ID.
You haven't played PlayStation in a while.
I've never owned a PlayStation. My roommate had a PlayStation, so I created an account and I have some achievements. I did have a PSP at one point because I was able to jailbreak it so I could play NES games on it. But that's a different story. So yeah. So
the Xbox Dodge does not promote jailbreaks. That's all, Chris.
That's right. I sold it. So I played a 3DS game, and I don't know what it's called. It was called like Drop Sleep or Sleep Drop.
Oh yeah, Dream Drop Distance.
Whatever.
The Kingdom Hearts game, yeah.
Oh no, not 3DS, on DS, the original DS.
Yep, DS.
And I dug that. Yeah, I dug that, but I had no idea what the heck was going on. But yeah, so I really want to play these games. I'm a huge Disney fan. And I didn't realize this until I started following Kingdom Hearts 3, that the Kingdom Hearts games were actually like action oriented. Mm-hmm. I thought because it was made by Square Enix and it looks like Final Fantasy, I thought it was like turn based like the old Final Fantasy games. So I had no idea. So actually when I saw that some of the gameplay and stuff, I was like, oh heck, this is actually like what they did with Final Fantasy 15, which is run around and smack stuff, which I like. That's the kind of gameplay I like. So I'm totally in for Kingdom Hearts 3. I cannot wait. They're doing a Big Hero 6 world. I cannot wait. But the
concept art.
I know, it looks so good. So I really want the original games. I mean, I don't know if they had something with Sony or what the deal was, but like if you are releasing number 3 on an Xbox console, like I really want to see 1 and 2 come back.
Especially with how confusing the Kingdom Hearts lore is and the story is, because I know it's an Xbox show, but I was going to say I have 1.5 plus 2.5 HD remix or whatever crazy name.
What are you talking about
on PlayStation?
What is a 1.5? Is that the one game?
Well, because here's the thing with Kingdom Hearts, because it's weird. On PS3, they released a 1.5 collection and a 2.5 collection, and what that did, 1.5 was the Kingdom Hearts 1 plus I think like the PSP and the DS game. It was like 365 over 5 days and something else. And then 2.5 was the Kingdom Hearts 2 remake plus the other handheld games. So it's like the one on PS4 is all of them. So it's like 6 games, right?
Oh, that's cool.
And the problem for me is I've only ever played through Kingdom Hearts 1. Really enjoyed it back in the day. Because I've always, had played a lot of Nintendo, enjoyed Xbox, things like that. I purchased a used PS2 when Kingdom Hearts 1 first released because, like you, Chris, I love Disney. I wanted to check out Kingdom Hearts. So I did that for the first Kingdom Hearts game. Played through the first one. Never got around to the second one. I don't know why, if things came up. But now, to my understanding, the lore and the way all these games tie together can get really confusing. Because I was talking to my friend Bremy the other day, and I said, Bremy, what's the best way to play through these games? He goes, you start with one, then you go over to this one. You only got to watch the cutscenes on this one, you don't have to play it. But then you should go over to this one over here. And I'm like, what is happening? So it's kind of confusing, at least as far as the story goes. But I can't imagine, because my goal is to get through all of those before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. And I'm going to get Kingdom Hearts 3 on the Xbox. But for people that don't have that luxury to be able to play the PlayStation versions, there's nowhere else you can play those remasters. Hopping in number 3 without the rest of it, it's like jumping to a third movie in a series that has all this backstory in the last 2 movies. You have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I actually had Kingdom Hearts on my list as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm done. So that's enough Kingdom Hearts love. What you got?
Kingdom Hearts would be great, though. It really would be awesome. Because honestly, if it came on Xbox, I'd rebuy it on Xbox. Because I'm the kind of person, I love the Xbox controller, prefer the UI, prefer my games on Xbox. So I'll get it there. But that's another story. Another game that's on PlayStation that I would love to see come to Xbox. The games from Quantic Dream. Now, Quantic Dream, they made Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls. They have Detroit coming out. And I've always really enjoyed. They're very hairy. They're very heavy narrative games. And the cool
you would almost say they're Heavy Rain.
They are. They're like Heavy Rain. Exactly.
They're like heavy. Are they like Chocolate Rain though? No. Okay.
But those are games I've always really like. I'm a very narrative driven person when it comes to games. Like I prefer like the Telltale games, the Quantic Dream games, or the gameplay isn't that great. I love the story. That's what keeps me in. That's what draws me in. And because they're kind of like interactive, choose your own adventure kind of stories, you can play through them multiple times because, I played through it this time. I had 2 guys die. I played through it this time. Different people died. I got everyone to survive. Like the choices you make really affect your story. And these have always been really, really awesome, great games. And I would love to see them come to Xbox because as far as I know, like PlayStation doesn't own the IP. Quantic Dream owns all of this. They decide just to put them on PlayStation.
Oh wow! Yeah, I mean, the new one looks really good. I've not really been a huge fan, to be honest, of I say a huge fan. I've not played it, but I haven't had a lot of interest to play Beyond Two Souls or Heavy Rain. But like Detroit looks pretty stinking cool. And so, all things considered, I would probably pick that game up. That game looks pretty great.
Could be great.
So, yeah. I mean, yeah, and they're a good team. Look, I like narrative driven stuff. We just spent a lot of time talking about Telltale. What is the Edith? What happened to Edith Finch?
What remains of Edith Finch?
What remains of Edith Finch? Yeah, that's out now. So like, I love those kind of games. So yeah, so I mean, give me story, character driven games like that. I love. So, okay, for me, let's see. I would go next. Beautiful Joe.
Oh, okay.
So Beautiful Joe is part of the Capcom 7, which way back on the GameCube was an agreement with Capcom and Nintendo to release 7 exclusive games. I think it was 7, right? Capcom 7?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Or the Capcom 5 or something. But yeah, to release exclusive games just on the GameCube. And the Beautiful Joe was one of those games. And I love Beautiful Joe. They did get a sequel, Beautiful Joe 2, which also came out on GameCube and was then released on PlayStation 2. But it has never seen a release on an Xbox platform. And, at that time the Xbox was out, but never saw a release. So for me, I would just... I mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory. I love side-scrolling games are probably one of my favorite genres, just because I grew up in that era. So, I like kind of beat-em-ups, and, Beautiful Joe is a lot about, manipulating time and power-ups. Plus, he was a stinking Power Ranger. I mean, he said, Henshin a go-go, baby. I mean, Henshin means change. Henshin means change in Japanese, and that's what Kamen Rider, says every time before he transforms into Kamen Rider. So, like, I'm all about the culture, of the character and just what he's doing. I love it. So, I would love to see kind of a reboot of the Beautiful Joe series, and I'd love to come to Xbox.
That would be, and honestly, there's one really, really big one I'm surprised you're not mentioning, but you'll probably mention it before we're out of this area. Okay.
Well, if I don't mention it, please tell me.
I will. Don't worry. I won't forget. One company I really enjoy their games, and yes, they have a few duds, but when they're on it, they're on it. Platinum Games.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed, the Bayonetta series. I really enjoyed
Ninja Turtles.
The Ninja Turtles was okay, but actually I could say Bayonetta 2 because Bayonetta 2 on Wii U was fantastic. They say it's going to come to Switch. Yeah. We'll see. I would love to see Bayonetta back on Xbox.
Yeah, man.
Because Bayonetta 1's backwards compatible.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was going to say Nier Automata, right? That's their latest game, and I just love the action-heavy, like, gameplay. Like, all their gameplay that is like that, like Bayonetta, like Vanquish, like Nier. I just really enjoy that fast, heavy action gameplay. And we were going to get Scalebound, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting that anymore. It's gone.
We're not.
So I'm not getting anything like that on my Xbox. There's not a single game I could think of with that kind of combat and that kind of gameplay that's coming to Xbox.
Agree.
Because I mean, Darksiders is kind of God of War-ish. I mean, it's got the heavy combat, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not fast.
It's not like
right?
that. No, it's
right.
not. It's not that fast-paced, crazy combo. You know?
Exactly. I mean, we got Devil May Cry, which is good, but we're still missing some. So I would absolutely love to get some more fast action games over on Xbox because, like you mentioned,
I've heard great things about Nier.
Yes.
So I would love to play that game.
It would be awesome. And like we mentioned previously on I can't remember what episode it was, there's some gaps on the Xbox of different genres we really need over here.
Yeah.
And the fast action heavy gameplay, whatever you want to call it, combat games, we've got nothing really like that on Xbox right now, so it would be great to get some of those over here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. So man, I have a very eclectic group, but I'm gonna kind of back up off Beautiful Joe and kind of be kind of in the same genre. I'm gonna say Azure Striker. Gunvolt.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised
Gunvolt,
it's Nintendo exclusive, right?
It is Nintendo exclusive. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So Gunvolt came out on the 3DS originally, and it is a 16-bit-esque era Mega Man type game, Mega Man X type game. You're running around, you're shooting things, you are collecting powers, boss battles, adding new abilities, next level, rinse and repeat. It's got a little story in there, great characters, very, very fun. Absolutely love it. If you like Mega Man, this is that game. They then released Mighty Gunvolt, which was a de-evolution of that game, so it turned into like an 8-bit version of that game. And then they just recently released Mighty Gunvolt Burst, which is still the kind of the 8-bit, but they added a lot more bells and whistles. They added Beck from Mighty Number 9 as a playable character, and I like the series. I like the world. I like the gameplay. I have all 3 games right now on my 3DS, and I've been playing a lot of Mighty Gunvolt Burst on my 3DS. I love it, but I would absolutely love to play that in high def on my Xbox with the Xbox One D-pad and get achievements for it. I think it'd be super cool. So I would throw that out there.
That would be awesome. Here's the big one. Okay, I don't know if I should say it or not.
Say it.
A game that's announced. It's not out yet. You kept talking about how much you hate it, but you keep talking about how much you want it. Insomniac's Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh.
I'm absolutely astonished you didn't mention Spider-Man. Because last week's show, all you talked about was how much you wanted Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And while it, at least from the gameplay I've seen, is mostly like quick time events.
Yeah,
but
but
Insomniac makes amazing games. They do. Every episode I demand I want Sunset Overdrive 2, right? I love what Insomniac does. Almost every single game they've made, I've loved. They've always been one of my favorite developers. We need more Insomniac over on Xbox because we know they're not Sony exclusive anymore with Sunset Overdrive. Yeah. So either make Sunset Overdrive 2. Now, I know with Spider-Man they can't do it because Sony owns the license right now and blah, 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 blah. But if there was a magical way to get Spider-Man onto Xbox, I would love it.
I want to have a Spider-Man conversation at some point on the show. It's going to be my topic.
Sure.
I actually tweeted out today because people are tweeting about it. It actually, they were talking about the writing being very, very similar to the Ultimate Spider-Man world writing, and the people at Comic-Con are playing it, and there's a lot of good stuff about it. And I love Spider-Man. I really like the costume. I like the white kind of accents on the spider. I think super cool. Here's what I'll say. I tweeted this out today and I stand by it. I think it is maybe the grossest thing that I have ever seen in video games. and everybody's gonna
And
peg
that's
that
not an
as,
exaggeration at all. Yeah.
No, that's not an exaggeration at all. And everybody's gonna peg that as I'm an Xbox fanboy, and I'm only saying that because Sony gets it. I would be saying the same thing if Microsoft got it.
Okay.
Look, at the end of the day, consoles are always going to pull exclusives, and that's fine. But when you take something like Spider-Man, that is above and beyond, recognized beyond a platform or even beyond a video game itself, and you limit the audience I understand they have every right to do it as a business, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to do that, but I will not buy a PlayStation to play it. And so I'm now relegated to being a huge Spider-Man fan, and I'm never going to be able to experience this game unless I go out and buy a $400 or a $300 system just to play one game. And that's absolutely stupid. And the fact that Marvel and whoever, again, I haven't even looked into it too much. Insomniac's making it. They're a third-party developer. Right. I know that Sony has rights because they make the movies, but that does not mean. I mean, we've had Sony properties, like film properties and stuff on Xbox. That doesn't limit them. And by the way, hashtag this is not based on the movie. This is based on an independent license. So Marvel has every right to this as well. And the fact that Marvel is letting another console that's completely capable to play it, and an install base of 20 or 30 million fans, which some of them, like myself, do not and will not own a PlayStation, not play their game, it absolutely just makes me sick to my stomach.
Sure.
That being said, I would absolutely love to play this game.
Right.
So I would love to have it on Xbox.
Absolutely. Okay. So Chris, we're running a little long here. I'm going to let you hit one more. But before I give it to you, I'm going to say one thing for Mr. Josh Brandt. One more game that's come to Xbox. Bloodborne. Okay. Go ahead.
I would not play. I mean, for the fans of that, I would love that. I would never play that game. But yeah, that'd be a great series to have over. I guess for me, I mean, there's some great ones. I'm gonna throw one out just for fun. Twisted Metal.
Oh yeah, okay. No, but I think that was made by Sony though. I think that's.
Is it made by Sony?
I think so. No, wait, is it? I don't know if Sony owns it or not. That's one I really don't know.
I didn't think that it was, but maybe I didn't dig.
No, but no, that would be absolutely amazing. Twisted Metal is fantastic.
So in school, I told you that I did. It's Oh no, it is published by Sony.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's not. Yeah. So okay. So Twisted Metal won't work. So, dang it.
But Twisted Metal's a good one though.
I really want to play Twisted Metal. So that was on my list. Sorry about that. Let's see. I guess outside of that,
see, I just blew up your whole list, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I mean, I don't really have. I don't think I have another one.
We can keep going with Twisted Metal. That's okay. I mean, what is it about?
Well, no, just real quick. I mean, Twisted Metal. They tried to bring it back on the PS3, right?
They had was Twisted Metal Black the last one? No, because they had
they brought one back.
I can't remember what it was called because I remember that one year they had. I think it was PS3. You're right. They had the ice cream truck come out on the stage at E3, and everyone flipped out. I think it was just called Twisted Metal. If I remember.
Yeah. I think they kind of just rebooted it, and that was a PS3 game. But I just remember back in the dorm, we used to play Twisted Metal. Whichever one was on. I think Black was one on PS2. Right.
Yes, Black was on PS2.
Yeah. So and we played. So I had in college, I had a GameCube. And I had a Dreamcast, and then my roommate had a PS2, and so over on my side we played a lot of Smash Brothers, and then on his side we basically only played Twisted Metal, and that's just a game that I just don't think we have anymore. Just a car combat game, and they used to kind of be a dime a dozen. I mean, I remember kind of, back in the day, there used to be a lot of them. I can't think of even one off the top of my head. And so I just remember hours and hours of us playing that game and how much fun it was. So I guess if Twisted Metal is owned, just any kind of car combat destruction type game like that could be kind of cool to see on Xbox, because I think that's something that we don't have kind of an answer to, and we used to play a ton of it. So
I'm trying to remember there was a launch title on Xbox 360. Was it?
I know there was Carmageddon.
Yeah, Carmageddon. Because I'm trying to look it up right now. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but it was a car combat game, but you were racing. I just can't remember what it was called. But like you're trying to race, but you also had guns on your car and you could shoot the opponents, and you could also like shoot the environment to make like bridges and stuff fall on the other racers. What was that called? Because I remember originally I think it was a PlayStation game that came to Xbox. I can't remember, but it was this awesome car combat game. And you're right. Car combat games have kind of disappeared. They kind of fell off the map. They were very, PS1, PS2, that kind of generation, so original Xbox 360. But after that, man, they kind of fell off the map. That would actually be pretty cool to bring back.
Yeah, so sorry, it's not a Sony owned, so we definitely can't have that switch over. But yeah, that just for fun, that's a game that I would absolutely love. So, do you have any to finish? Are we done?
Nope,
you got one more?
That is it. I was going to ask our listeners, what third-party games that are on on PlayStation or Nintendo or PC that you want to see come to Xbox? Because there's quite a lot out here we didn't hit. We've just got this real little show with very little time. So, let us know. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to comment and subscribe. That would be awesome. But also make sure to hit us up on our Facebook community group. That's where we do all our conversation. That would be awesome. Or you can hit us up in the live Mixer chat right now. Mixer.com/the Xbox Dive. That would be awesome. But with that, Chris, it's another week. Another one in the can, man. Episode number 6.
Yes.
Another great, wonderful show. Hopefully you guys, if you're listening to it, you enjoyed it. You can also, if you're not watching us live on Mixer, don't forget you can get the audio version every Monday on iTunes and Google Play. Go on there, download it, subscribe. Don't forget to rate us and comment as well. We would absolutely love that. If you aren't following our YouTube page, you can only see the video version of this. If you're not watching live, you can see it later on YouTube. Just look up the Xbox Dive. Make sure to subscribe and comment on that. And finally, don't forget to go to our Xbox Dive community group. That's where we have all our conversation. That's where we have all our polls. That's where most of the activity is going to go on. We also have our Twitter page at the Xbox Dive. You can follow us there as well. As for myself, you can find me on Xbox and Mixer and pretty much everything, Jamester0722. And Chris, where can our listeners find you, man?
You can find me on Xbox Live and on Twitter at NeoLego. And pretty much anything that I can do, you can find from there.
Awesome. And until next time, guys, we hope you enjoyed this show. We wouldn't be able to make this show without you, so make sure to comment and subscribe. Until next time, guys, we are out.
Bye.